in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to experience the shift, which is a vibrational state of consciousness change that will totally transform your life. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you more on what is called the shift experience. The shift experience is a total transformation when it comes to the level of consciousness that someone is currently at. The shift experience is going to be a process by which I am at the moment creating right now, which the end result is people becoming more aware, so someone becoming more aware of who they are at a greater level and experiencing a shift in consciousness. This is about raising up the ladder of vibration. If you remember the chart that I've shown many times and from the book called Power versus Force, there's a certain level, there's a certain spot to where we begin to come at a certain place where everything is happening to us, to then having this explosion of energy that goes out, having this way of where we wake up from societal conditioning and where we start to create our life in a very powerful way. Well, this is an experience that I've been through myself, not saying I'm enlightened, but what I am saying is I have had this shift in consciousness, and I believe that anyone that wants to have this shift, that is willing and able to go within themselves, to look at certain aspects of themselves and to really let go of what no longer serves, can also go through this shift in consciousness. Going through this shift in consciousness means waking up from societal conditioning. Going through this shift in consciousness means existing in a higher vibrational state, which means that the emotional vibration that you feel on a daily basis is higher than it was before. So in a way, raising the base point elevation, raising the base point vibration of how you feel on a daily basis. This is about understanding that you can direct your life in a conscious way. Many people walk around at the whims of what's happening, at the whims of societal conditioning, at the whims of the circumstances in life. But when you start to have this shift in consciousness, you start to create your life in a much powerful way. You start to literally command and direct the course of your life when you especially align with yourself at a deeper level, when you are aligned with what is authentic for you. Now, this, I believe, is the missing key to so many people experiencing what they want. Many people are using the law of attraction from a lesser paradigm. They're using it from a place almost of feeling the lesser emotions, of feeling shame, fear, guilt, trying to attract something higher, but not able to, experiencing resistance, and that's because they haven't experienced the shift. The shift is going to be something that I am creating right now. It's going to be a step-by-step process that shows people how to experience the shift and how to transform the level of consciousness. Now, if you're interested in this, what I recommend you do is you can click the top of the button below in the description box, and I will send you updates as to when the shift experience is ready. And this is eventually going to be the public speaking seminars that I do. It's going to be on the shift experience. So my goal and my intention is to help millions of people shift their level of consciousness by going within, letting go of what doesn't serve, and waking up from the collective hypnosis of societal conditioning. So if that's something that resonates with you, you can enter your email below and I will send you updates as well as newsletters as to how this process is going and how you can go through the shift as well. And for this video, I'm going to be explaining with you 3 general ways that you can go through the shift to experience that in your own life. Now, the first step to this process, or the first way you can go about it, is understanding, first off, that in society in general, there is a hypnosis that is going on. If you remember the movie Matrix, for example, you may remember that Neo first step for him was being aware that he is in the Matrix. Being aware that everything in his society, everything that he was experiencing was a form of quote-unquote program. And in a way, that is a metaphor for life in general. When we become aware that in life everything is on autopilot, when we become aware that everything is constantly being, in a way, sprung on us when it comes to the media, when it comes to whether you're Republican or Democrat, whichever side you're on, you're within the thought bubble, you're within the hypnosis of whatever ideology that represents. Now, the thing is when we get caught up in duality, when we get caught up in societal conditioning, and we're in this hypnosis, we're not able to really create our own reality. because we have too many factors that are tearing us one direction or the other. Whether we fight it or against it doesn't matter. Whether we push the pendulum further and we resist it or whether we embrace it, it means that we're being constantly kind of thrown around based on our own emotions. You may have felt this if you ever saw, who won presidency or something else happened and you felt negative emotion because of it, or you felt positive emotion of it, whatever it was. If you felt that emotional pull, that comes from a level of unconsciousness. If we have these perspectives that things are happening to us, if we have the perspectives that we are a victim, then we remain within that hypnosis. And this for some people can be kind of hard to hear, but I was in it as well. So I'm not saying it as if I am somebody that's always been entitled and always been aware of this. I went through the same exact thing. But one of the first steps is waking up to reality and understanding that what we experience in reality is a small sliver of what is actually potential or possible. What we experience in reality, the bits of information that we are constantly absorbing, because our five senses, that's what they are, they absorb information. The five senses we use can only interpret about 4,000 bits of information out of that of billions. I think they say it's such a small percentage, it's crazy, whether it's we're constantly dissecting 2 million bits of information out of billions and billions and billions. It's like a fraction of a percentage that we're able to actually interpret of what is real. Now the thing is from society in general, from the government or whatever we want to call it, the ways we're constantly brought into our senses. We're brought into overeating. We're brought into watching 5-6 hours a day of television. We're brought into getting emotionally charged when certain sports teams win or lose. This is charging us and keeping us in this deep hypnosis state. And until we become aware, first off, that we are asleep or we're asleep, we can't actually wake up. And until we start to observe this, that's when we start to gain our power back. Because when we start to observe it and we go, wait, I've believed this to be true my whole entire life. I've believed so much in the government and all of these things, believing that what I saw in the news was actually what was happening in the world. When really it's a completely skewed, exaggerated perspective that's meant to put us deeper into this hypnosis reaction. Everyone's in reaction. There's a reason they don't teach parts of the law of attraction in school. There's a reason they don't teach a lot of the spiritual development in school, because at a certain level, we aren't conditioned to know about our true power of who we are. And until you understand that this is what we've experienced in reality is a form of illusion, it's something that has been, in a way, projected to us to keep us in this hypnosis, then we don't actually wake up. The key is to wake up from this hypnosis, and the shift experience will help us to do that. That's what I'm creating right now. That's where a lot of my energy and my time is going, into creating this shift. So as well, if this is something you're interested in, can you let me know below? This is the first time I've ever announced this on the YouTube channel. So if you are interested in experiencing the shift experience with me, which is what I'm creating, can you comment below and let me know? Now, the second thing that we must become aware of when it comes to this process is the story that we tell ourselves. We all have a story that is going on in our mind about who we are, about what happened in our past. That story has within it beliefs. And we have our beliefs and our story, and that controls the destiny of our life. That controls everything that we experience. Because the way we see ourselves, the way we interpret the quote past, has a certain pattern to it. Things happened. We put dialogue to it, and we give meaning to it. And that meaning we give to it, to the past, is then tied in to the way we see ourselves, and then that continues to perpetuate out into the future. People are continuously creating the same thing they experienced in the past over and over and over and over again. And the key to this is becoming aware of how to unleash the chains that are attached to the past. And once again, I don't say this as the man on the mountaintop, as I'm perfect, whole, and complete. I say that because I've moved through these different layers. And what I've learned to do is to let go of my past, because I went through a lot of stuff growing up that was more negatively focused, that wasn't great experiences. And I identified with the pain of my past. I identified with having an abusive ex-stepmom. And when I was under that reins of that kind of control, and when I was being treated a certain way, I started to think, this is what I'm worthy of. Even after my dad divorced her when I was 15 years old, I go out into the world, I'm allowed to have friends, I'm allowed to eat food again, I'm allowed to eat as much food as I want versus being deprived of it. I'm allowed to do things I wasn't allowed to do before. I'm allowed to watch TV, I'm allowed to have friends, all of these things, but I still felt that lack. I still felt I wasn't worthy. And I kept manifesting into my life people that were of the same type of vibration of my ex-stepmom. I had a manager at the job I worked later that was almost the same type of personality disorder, the same type of sociopathic tendencies. And she was in my life for 4 years, and it was almost the same person. It was crazy. The moment I began to change my story was the moment everything began to change. Because as I let go of the past, that's when I let go of the patterns that no longer served. You see, most people are reliving their story over and over and over again, and their past is their future because they haven't dealt with the past and they haven't changed their story. So story is an integral part of this. It's an important part of this, and also understanding the beliefs we have. Our beliefs create our reality. If we believe in the social structure of the way the government runs things and the media, and we believe in everything that we're told, then we're at the reaction mind. We're reactive to everything, and therefore we're experiencing everything at the whims of circumstance. And the key to this is moving back into our power, shifting to a level of consciousness where we wake up from societal conditioning and we say, no, I'm going to be the director of my life. Imagine that there's a director's seat within you. And what's been happening is for years, you have been, in a way, walking around this cabin inside of yourself with the director's chair right there. All you got to do is sit down and start to direct it. But that chair has been empty. And instead, it's been on autopilot. The whole body, the whole system, the whole mind has been on autopilot based on reaction. The shift is about sitting in that director's chair, looking at the past scripts, the past stories, waking up and being aware of everything around that is illusion, and then deciding that you are going to move in the direction you want, void of societal conditioning, void of the old story that no longer serves you, choosing to be how you prefer to be. That's what the shift is about. And you must become aware of the story, and you must sit down in that director's chair. It's your chair. It's there for you. And that's what the shift experience is about. Now, the third thing you must do in order to experience the shift is that of healing past experiences. So we have the story. We must become aware of our story. We must change the story, let go of the story, but also we must heal the past. Part of also how I let go of the past of my ex-stepmom is I had to forgive her. I had to let go of the pain. I had to heal myself. And once I healed myself, it's funny how it works, because then that manager that I had, she finally got fired. She should have been fired forever ago because of how abusive she was verbally to all the other employees, talking down to them, saying really mean things. But she was protected by upper management, so it didn't happen. Funny how it works. When I change my story and I heal the patterns of my past, a week later she gets fired because it no longer resonated with the patterns within me. I changed the script. So healing is an important part of this process. There are many people, and myself included, still going through these layers of letting go of things. But in the past, what's happened is maybe something happened when you were 5 or 6 years old, and you gave it a certain meaning. Maybe like me, my parents were divorced when I was 5 or 6 years old. And I don't remember exactly what was going through my mind at that time, but I know that affected the way I view relationships. I know that affected the way I see life in general. And the key is I've been learning to heal and to let go of these layers, because at a certain point when we're 5 or 6 years old, we're not old enough or mature enough to actually look at something that's happening and go, oh, well, this doesn't have anything to do with me. This just has to do with my mom and my dad. When we're that age, we absorb it all and we internalize it all. So it's about being aware of the meaning that we generated at an early age. Maybe somebody told you when you were young something mean about yourself. Maybe you got into a fight when you were 8 years old or something, and that influenced and created resistance within you that maybe you're carrying around even to this day, even though maybe it's been 10, 15 years. So it's about being aware of those patterns, being aware of any patterns within you that haven't been healed, that haven't been completed, and then completing those by allowing them to be there, observing them, and then letting them go. When we let go of the patterns that no longer serve us, we start to transform our life. So healing is another important part of this. This isn't about just having the story and just completely forgetting about it. It's about having the story, letting go of the story, but also healing it so that that version of us is healed. The shift experience is about understanding that the reality we want to experience already exists. It's about understanding parallel realities, understanding what science is learning about quantum physics, understanding consciousness, understanding how we transcend from lower levels of consciousness into higher levels of consciousness, because in these higher levels of consciousness, we create what we want easier than ever, because our vibration is higher. I went through an experience when was this? This is back in 2012. I learned meditation, I learned how to observe my thoughts, I learned about the story that I had constantly replaying on repeat. And I had this shift of consciousness change. And when that happened, my base point of feeling good was all normally on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 feeling amazing, 1 feeling not great at all. I felt about 3 to a 5. Wasn't great, wasn't horrible, but it wasn't that great. And then what happened is I went through this shift, and this shift brought me to a 7 or 8 out of 10. And I started to feel high all of the time. I don't do drugs, I don't drink, I don't even do caffeine. Not saying that to brag or anything, I'm just saying this comes from a generation from within, a generation of energy from within. Maybe you've understood or seen how much energy I have. This is how I feel. This is how I am. This is from the shift in consciousness. This is the thing that I believe I have to offer to the world, is to show people how to get the same type of result that I've gotten through my own experience. This isn't through some type of theory. This isn't just something I read in the book. This is something I live. You can ask the people I'm around the most. They will tell you this is how I am all the time. This is how I live. I live in this vibrational state. Not that I'm perfect and I'm not enlightened, but this shift in consciousness is something that I believe I can help people do in a powerful way. So, like I said, if you want to experience the shift in your life, you have to wake up to the true reality of knowing that you most likely have been under a deep hypnosis your whole entire life. And that this is something we wake up more and more to, and then we start to let it go. You have to become more of the story you have that's running your life experience, the beliefs that are tied within that, because our beliefs create our reality, and you have to heal the patterns of the past, and the pain of the past, because as you let it go, you don't have to keep creating that same pattern over and over and over again. You can experience this shift in consciousness by understanding more about who you are. You can experience this shift in consciousness by getting into the director's chair, observing everything around you, and then starting to let go of what no longer serves, and I want to help you do that. So if that's something you're interested in, you will see that of a link below. You can sign up to get updates as to the shift experience, and I will send you those updates. That'll be something that's available probably in the next month or two. I'm creating it right now. And the speaking engagements I do, I'm going to be traveling the world, going on a tour, teaching the shift experience, teaching people how to go through the shift in consciousness. It'll be all-day seminars or maybe 2-day seminars. I haven't decided yet. If you have any preference of what you think, definitely down to hear it below. I very much appreciate you and all the energy that we're able to go back and forth with, and any insight that you have. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the little notification here next to the subscribe button so that you can see the daily vids that I do. And other than that, as always, peace, much love, and namaste.